One of the comments to come out of the survey on farm quality assurance was that all products should be produced organically. Now this could work in certain circumstances with certain crops or animals, but as a whole approach, as a farmer, and in my opinion, I don't think this is viable to feed the population of the world. Yields are less generally. Some crops fail. Some crops, like I'm going to show you here with the carrots, really struggle due to pest damage. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, we have a customer base now who want everything to be exact, to be perfect, to be straight, to be uniform, to look pretty, and above all else, be cheap. Which we'll touch on again in another point as to how environment compares to price in the customer's buying requirements. So we'll show you a few of the carrots here that I've been growing organically that we had really for our Christmas market, and we're just finishing off the last few here that we have, and just explain some of the trials and tribulations of trying to grow organic carrots. So this is some of my organic carrots that we're pulling this morning to take out to the farm shop, and there's quite a few of them are nice looking carrots. We'll just go through here and see if we come across any problems to highlight to you. This is a minor one, but this is an example of slug damage, where the slugs eat down into the carrots. I hollow them out and make it unsaleable, because if we present that to a customer, if you grew that in your own garden, it'd be perfectly happy. You would just cut the top wee bit off. But as a customer coming to buy it, the opinion might change. And I've just muddied it a wee bit. But this is an example of disease in a carrot. And if I just split that, you'll see how it goes into it. Now we can't sell those carrots either. Again, if it was only the tip of the end of it and you were growing it in your garden for your own consumption, you could cut it off. But I can't sell that, so that's another product wasted. And just here, perfect example. The slugs down in the ground, and they've laid their eggs there alongside the carrots, and the wee baby ones have nibbled holes in them, and as those grow, they're just going to eat the carrots and hollow them out, and that will be no use again for consumption. So again, a downturn in yield on the viability of crop. You know, you can have, there's another example of how the disease is setting in. This is later on in the season, so it is worse. If we were to harvest those really early, it wouldn't be so bad. This is one of the crates filled with the carrots. They look pretty good there, but it takes a bit of hoking and looking to make sure you get the right ones. And this is some of the wastage that's left behind. Now, if I had a few sheep, I could bring them in here and they would nibble them up. But if you were growing carrots on a commercial scale organically, and you take that level of wastage through disease or pests, there's another good example of how the slugs have ate into the top of it. Now, we get to ask questions in the shop sometimes of how can I grow my carrots, and I've got holes in them, etc. And we explain to the customers, have you slugs in the garden, are they eating them? And quite often they come back the next year and go, jeepers, I got some slug pellets in the garden centre and I put them around my carrots. I've great carrots this year. Or I got a wee tub of that Miracle Grow stuff and sprayed it on with the watering can. I had bigger carrots than normal. Well, again, that is the customer at home in their garden producing commercial fruit and veg. It's not organic, but they've convinced themselves that that's how they have to do it. So unfortunately, that's how the farmer in general sees it. If they're going to produce a viable crop for the inputs required at the price that they can produce, organic is not always an option. For those people out there that can produce stuff organically, they're doing a great job. And number two, I believe there's an awful lot that the normal farmer can learn from the organic farmer and bring that into his normal everyday work. But to be whole out and out organic for all the produce you create as a farm quality assured grower, it's just not possible to feed the world in an economic fashion. However, there's a lot we can learn from those organic farmers, and a lot of their things under weed management, pest control should really be taken more seriously by a lot of other farmers. and I'm quite happy to say that. And we'll show you just an example here in a wee moment when we come across from where the carrots are to a different product we've been trying to grow. Here we have some organic leeks. These were sowed as seeds along with some clover. The idea being that hopefully the clover would help fix some of the nitrogen and also provide a barrier over the soil to protect the leeks from the weeds and allow the leeks to come up through. These were late sown and hopefully be very early spring leeks if they continue to grow. So far they're not looking too bad. There is areas where you get weeds like the thistles and stuff coming up and giving it harm. But all in all, first time around, it's not too bad. One of the products that probably could be grown quite organically. They are fairly clean. They don't need just as much management as the carrots. As we've seen earlier, the carrots can be slightly more difficult to grow and suffer from more slug damage, etc. But yeah, we're trying.